Hello and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. It's another great weekend and the good news for Super Eagles of Nigeria after their exploits. They just concluded Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire, where they did excellently well, getting to the final but losing to the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire, coming second out of 24 countries that took part in the Nations Cup. Nigeria was able to scoop the silver away from that competition, losing 2-1 to the host Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire. And after a match of what happened in Cote d'Ivoire last weekend, the Super Eagles of Nigeria right now are moving. They've moved and they are where they are supposed to be, and gradually I believe that movement will come after maybe doing so well in the qualifiers. They will surely move up. Now they are third, moving up 14 places to be ranked 28th best team in the newly released FIFA rankings after their exploits in the Nations Cup. Now they are not third best team in Africa, behind Morocco and Senegal, who are first and second on the continent of Africa. But for the Super Eagles, they move 14 places to the third position, to the 28th position in the world, and because of that they are now the third best team on the continent of Africa. I have Isaac Omediji from Bida, Niger State, joining me on the show to react to this and some other topics we have for you on the program 360 Sports. Isaac, welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. Good one for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. This is what we want to say. We remember after the USA 94 outing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, they were ranked the 5th best team. That is the highest an African team will go. The Super Eagles is still holding that record. They were ranked the 5th best team after the USA 94, but now after AFCON 2023, they've moved up the ladder to be the 3rd best team in Africa and 28th in the world. I believe it's a good upward movement for the Super Eagles.
Yes, good morning, Mano, and thank you for having me again. It's good news for the Super Eagles again, because to have climbed to, 14 places upward, it's not a flick. We all saw what they did at the Africa Cup of Nations before the unfortunate final that we played that didn't go our way in any ramification. But the fact that we performed well, we performed even beyond expectations, and that is the consolation for someone like me, because I never give them the chance of even going out of the group stage. So even going out of the group stage to the finals, it's something that is huge. We all saw that they played a kind of pattern of football that was, alien to the kind of football we played, but that still took them to the finals. And kudos to them. The players gave the best. Individually, they were good. To have seen the like of Trust Ekong coming as the best player of the tournament, a defender for that matter, shows that these players have something up their sleeves. So for us to have moved forward, one person that really don't rate FIFA ranking that much, but since it is an official stuff, and when it is official ranking, you want to go up always. So it's something that we should celebrate, that at least we've got something to cheer us up, that we move 14 places and third in Africa. We should be first in Africa. And I believe that if we can do well in the qualifiers, qualify for the World Cup, and perform good, wonderfully at the World Cup, we'll be number 1 in Africa. That is if Morocco and Senegal also slip down.
Yes, that is if Morocco and Senegal also slip down. And you know what happened to Morocco and Senegal? They were eliminated from the Nations Cup, and as it stands right now, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have actually moved up the ladder 14 places from 32nd in the world to number 28th best team in the world FIFA ranking, and then the third best team in Africa. That's a massive one, an upward movement for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Like Isaac opined, if they do well in the qualifiers, qualify for the World Cup and also the Nations Cup qualifiers, because they will be playing the World Cup and Nations Cup qualifiers side by side, because we still have the Nations Cup coming up next year in Morocco. But quickly, let's look at that. Someone said the Super Eagles, if they can retain this team, will do well in Morocco. I don't know, Isaac, if you actually believe in that, because Morocco will be hosting the next African Cup of Nations by 2025.
The fact that Morocco is hosting makes it even more difficult, because Morocco will also want to win at home, and they have all it takes to even win at home. In fact, they had all it takes to even win in Ivory Coast, but it didn't go their way. So we must have a team that can go beyond what we did in Ivory Coast. Now, it's no longer, we've won the bronze, we've won the silver, now we must go for the gold. So, and it will be very difficult to even win it in Morocco, because countries that didn't do well in Cote d'Ivoire, we want to, regain their reputation, good reputation, high standing in Morocco. And Morocco itself, hosting, we want to win. And they're not Africans, they can do everything to win. But look at this team presently. What is lacking in that team is a creative midfielder. We still need that creative midfielder, or creative midfielders, not even just one, that will be able to connect the defense to their striking force. We don't have that midfielder that spread the passes efficiently, and that is a minus on our team. So even if we are retaining this bulk of players, we should add players that will make them better. That is very important. And some of our players that that missed out of this tournament because of injuries, the likes of Taiwo Awoniyi, Victor Boniface, Wilfred Ndidi, if they are still top of their game going into the next Nations Cup, they should be included. And I think Jose Peseiro is the big question now. Should he still be the one that will lead them? I think we'll get to that.
Okay, we'll get to that on the course of this show. Okay, congratulations to the Super Eagles of Nigeria for moving up 14 places to be ranked the 28th in the world and the third best team in Africa. Let's go straight, still talking about the Super Eagles now. Let's look at, because Isaac, you mentioned it already, now it's coming in because a lot of persons in Nigeria, even our own colleagues, sports journalists, have been calling for the sack, or as in the sack of Jose Peseiro. He should not be retained, all of this. And NFF has come out with a statement that the federal government of Nigeria will decide Jose Peseiro's fate. Now, Isaac Omidiji, I think it's not in the hands of the NFF to decide whether Peseiro to stay or to go, because the funding comes from the federal government, and now that is why NFF is saying, okay, the federal government is the one to decide the fate of Jose Peseiro. To an extent, I don't want to agree, because they are the one who makes this recommendation, and the federal government do the payment. So I don't know if you are looking at that from that angle.
Emmanuel, they are to recommend to the sport ministries, to the sport ministry, and the sport ministry is to take action based on the recommendations of the NFF. So the NFF technically are the one that will decide the fate of Jose Peseiro. So what will be their recommendations? That is the question. Are they going to recommend that he sign a new 2-year contract, or are they going to recommend that he goes? They should do the right thing. And for me, the right thing is, I'm yet to be convinced. Yes, at the African Confederations, we saw some technical inputs, tactical inputs from him, but at the end of the day, he was still exposed in the finals, because when you have a tactical approach that doesn't have an alternative, then what sort of coach are you? Your tactical approach cannot continue to work in all games and for all teams. No, every team with its own approach. And that was why the Ivorians were able to study our approach. They realized that we couldn't switch to another approach, and they bombarded us. They didn't just win that final, they played us out in all ramifications, virtually in all aspects of the game. So it's not just about NFF, making recommendations. What kind of recommendation are you going to make? For me, also Peseiro should be allowed to go. Yes, he should be allowed to go, because prior to the Nations Cup, he has done nothing good. If you remember, he has done. In fact, we call him PhD coach. We call him a coach on IT. We shouldn't just go and look for a coach that is white. What is that coach's pedigree?
Okay, what is that?
Peseiro has everything to have won this Nations Cup, or he pursued it.
Okay, what is that coach pedigree? Okay, now, if you look at Isaac, let's look at the final. That after the last 10 minutes of that game, we're all complaining that he didn't switch. But we actually switched to 4-4-3 formation, and the pressure was on the Ivorians in the last 10 minutes of that game, from the 80th minute of that game, during the introduction of Kelechi Iheanacho. But don't you think letting him go now is going to disrupt the plans of the team? Bringing in somebody who will come and take over, we want to start from the scratch, want to bring in his own players. We have the qualifiers for the Nations Cup starting very soon, and also the World Cup qualifiers side by side. So a lot of competitions from next month is lined up for the Super Eagles. So bringing in another person, do you think is going to be a very good one for the team in general?
There must be a time a new person must come in, and there must be a time a new person must start from afresh. And any coach who is coming now, who knows his audience, will also know that he's not starting from it's not starting afresh. The players are there. So where is he going for to look for players? He's not under pressure to bring in 20 new players. Unlike Guerrero that used virtually all his tenure to be testing players, experimenting with players.
But getting results.
This and also that you and I know that prior to this Nations Cup, didn't do well at all. Remember in the World Cup qualifiers, we are still going to play South Africa. We drew our first 2 matches unceremoniously with poor display. Yet this man took us to the Nations Cup, performed some miracles, switched to a defensive play, and it worked. And in the final, when it switched, was a very, very late time in the game. That game should have gone into. Shouldn't have gone the way it went, because you realize that the first half, these people already got your tactics and they have used it against you. Second half, why are you still retaining it? As early as second half, you should change it. Bring in a player like Iheanacho to also put pressure on their defense, because Samuel Chukwueze was nowhere to be found. And the Lukman, who was trying, was also pinned down. They realized that they made sure that all our key players, right from the defensive flank, right from online, we are not allowed to do what they know how to do. So why not have a plan B on time? But the sentiment has always been, where would the new coach come and disrupt? There will be a disruption. There with this. If that is the case, let's go. But personally, I think Osebro should go and let the new coach come and start afresh.
If that is the problem, should go. All right, let's leave Osebro. We'll still talk more on that on the course of the show, and then probably later in the evening when we'll have the other show. Okay, let's move away from Jose Pizarro. Let's talk about the women right now, because I think this year in football, in handball, and in other sports, we have a date with the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon and the Indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon, and other sports also. In handball also, we'll be playing the Cameroon in that competition. But now we're going to be talking about the women. That's the Super Falcons first leg, the 2024 Paris Olympic qualifiers. Now the NFF has called up 21 players for Cameroon clash. We have Randy Wardrum coming back to the team, and Ashley Plumter also has been recalled back to the Super Falcons team. Now, before Isaac, before you react to that, let's quickly look at the Super Falcons list. Let's look at the invited players quickly before you react to it. Like I said, Randy Wardrum has been called back to the side. His contract has been renewed, and whatever, he's back to the side. And Ashley Plumter is also bad. Now, let's start with the goalkeeping position. We have Chiamaka Nadozie, Super Falcons #1 and the best goalkeeper, women's goalkeeper on the continent of Africa. We have Tochukwu Oluehi, who is also playing her trade in Saudi Arabia for Chiamaka. She was with Paris FC in France. We have Linda Jiwaku of Bayelsa Queens here in Nigeria. And then for the defenders, we have Osinachi Ohale, who plays for Pachuca FC in Mexico. We have Ashley Plumter, who plays for Al Ittihad in Saudi Arabia. We have Oluwa Tosin Demehin, who's just joined Juventus in Italy. We have Michie Alozie of Houston Dash of United States of America. We have Akudu Ogbona, and then we have Rufiat Umuran, who's also playing her trade here in Nigeria. And then for the midfielders, we have Deborah Abiodun, Petersburg, United States. We have Alimatu Anyide, who plays her trade in Sweden. We have Christy Uchebe, who plays with SL Benfica women in Portugal. Jennifer Echegine. We have Rashidat Ajibade. We have Tony Payne, who plays her trade in France. No, I beg your pardon, in La Liga. That's for the women's team. Then we have forwards for Omorin Shola Babajide. We have Esther Okoronkwo. We have Ifeoma Onumuno. Esther Okoronkwo plays in China. We have Asisat Oshoala, who left Spain for BFC in United States. Uchenna Kanu, and then Gift Monday. Now, Isaac Omidiji, Randy Wardrum will be at the dugout with these guys. And for Ashley Plumter also, she's back with the team.
That Ashley is even returning makes it very interesting. Remember, she was one of the best performers for us at the World Cup. She gave all her best from playing from even a position she's not used to, right from the left back. She comes into the midfield. Her dedication, you will know that at least, no matter how, she still has that spirit that Njab borrowed in her because of the way she plays. And since she moved to Saudi Arabia, she has been out of the team. According to her, she decided it was her decision to be out of the team for that moment. And thank God she's back. And for the Wandrum, he's also back. I don't know why we will allow the contracts to expire. We don't want to retain them. We allow them go for some months, then we'll bring them back after another coach has been doing the job on interim basis. And doing the job on interim basis, he has been winning his matches. But good, Randy is back. These are his girls. He has worked with virtually all of them, so they are not new to him. The most important thing that we must get is tickets. And playing against the indomitable Lionesses will also not be easy. They will remember what we did to their Lions at the African Cup of Nations. And, it's now pound for pound. And, the banter has not even died down between Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, South Africa. All these will play out even in this. So the players should be mentally fit and should just go address the game and make it very serious, because the indomitable Lions will also come out. They are very good. They are also good to get a ticket. So the Super Falcons must not relax and rest on their hours. They must, from the blast of the whistle, go ahead and show hunger. That is very important. Thank God the return leg will be played in Nigeria.
Yes, the return leg will be played in Nigeria on 26th of February, precisely at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium here in Abuja. Good one for the Super Falcons. But like you mentioned, playing against the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon is going to be a handful for us. Now, I think the bulk of players invited, these 21 players, do you think there should have been an addition, a suppression, or maybe there are some players who would have been invited, probably maybe get some other players in the team? The likes of Linda Jiwaku players trade with the Baisa Queens of Nigeria. I think we'll have 2 home base in this team, and for the other. So do you think there should have been more addition, or probably maybe just leave the bulk of the players that went to the World Cup?
If a list of Super Falcon players is released, 99% will be players playing in Nigeria. Now the tide has changed, and now it is 99% playing abroad. Well, it's good to go and look for greener pastures, and it also shows that the game is growing and that our players took a command shirts even in Europe. Good one. I think there is no need to bring in too much new players. This is a serious qualifier. It's not for joke. It's not a friendly match where you should experiment. So let's go with the players that have been together and the coach that has also known them very well and what they can do. And the fact that we also have Linda there, it's also encouraging enough. And don't forget that we also have another team that's preparing for the All African Games. So some of the players that I think probably will have made it here, 1 or 2 players definitely are also in that particular team. So let's continue with this one. They are a compact team. They know each other and they are no strangers.
Because they are not strangers. Good one. We will be playing the indomitable Lionesses in the the second and last round of the Olympics, Paris 2024 Olympics qualifier, and the Super Falcons hope to get the ticket, because the last time out in Japan, as in Tokyo, we didn't make it to that competition. This time around, we want to really represent the continent of Africa in the football event of the Paris 2024 Olympics. Let's go straight to Europe, where there were actions in the second tier and the third tier of the European competition, the Europa League and the Conference League. Games went down last night, where we have a couple of Nigerians who are Super Eagles players who also played last night in the Europa Conference League and then the Europa League knockout. We have the results on the screen right now. We have Feyenoord and Roma played a 1-1. Galatasaray beat Sparta Prague 3-2. Shakhtar Donetsk and Marseille played a 2-2 draw. Young Boys lost to Sporting Lisbon 3-1. Benfica beat Toulouse 2-1. Lens and SC Freiburg played a goalless draw. And AC Milan of Samuel Chukwueze trashed Rennes 3-0. Loftus-Cheek of Chelsea getting the brace in that particular game. Sporting Braga 2 and Qarabag 4. That was some games in the Europa League knockout round playoff result. Let's quickly look at the Conference League. We also have games in the Conference League. Let's have the Conference League result before Isaac will react to those results. Now, Molde beat Liga Warsaw 3-2. Olympiacos of Greece 1. Ferencvaros of Bulgaria 0. SK Sturm Graz 4. Slovan Bratislava 1. Union St. Gilos 2. Eintracht Frankfurt 2. Ajax 2. Bodo Glimt of Norway 2. Maccabi Haifa of Israel beat KA Gent of Belgium 1-0. And then Real Betis lost to Dynamo Zagreb at home 1-0. And Sivekti and Ludogorets Razgrad played a goalless draw. That is in the Europa Conference League. Isaac, it was a good one that Samuel Chukwueze team AC Milan, because he was back to training on Monday after in the Europa Conference League. The game of Real Betis against Dynamo Zagreb, and then Molde against Liga Warsaw. These two games was actually for Real Betis losing to Dynamo Zagreb at home. Isaac, it was a surprise result for me.
The manager, Bana Pellegrini, that is for Real Betis, has been a manager that I've seen it who has also won both European titles and places. I'm now seeing him losing at home, but it's the first leg, knockout round. Let's see if they can turn the tide, the table around. But another result that surprised me is what a glimpse at the OD Ajax to a 2-2 draw away in Amsterdam. Ajax they have not been doing well at all. From the club, from the top of the Dutch Eredivisie, and you wonder, this is the same Ajax that have produced wonderful players over the years, the same Ajax that Erik ten Hag took to the summit of European football, and they are currently struggling in all aspects. Even in the domestic league, it's very, very difficult for them. Even with the signing of Jordan Henderson, who is start playing from the few games I have watched them play, I'm wondering what is wrong with Ajax. They are a powerhouse, not just in Holland, but together. If the season will not work out well, I hope they prepare well for next season.
Okay, I hope they prepare well for next season. All right, before we go on the show, let's quickly look at this particular story where Manchester United, they've not, at least they still have their eyes set on Victor Osimhen, the Super Eagles striker and Napoli forward. Now, Manchester United is keen on Victor Osimhen. We're also hearing that PSG has made him a #1 target to replace Kylian Mbappe. We'll get to that story in the course of the show, or maybe in the evening show. We'll talk about Kylian Mbappe. But Isaac, quickly, for Manchester United, they are still sniffing around Victor Osimhen.
Many clubs are interested. And remember, definitely will be leaving Napoli in the summer. He already announced that. The club also announced that already. But where is he going to? We don't know. PSG are interested. Real Madrid are interested. Chelsea are interested. Manchester United are also interested. I think he will go to a club where he will play regularly. That is very important. And I'm very sure even currently in any team, he will play regularly, especially Chelsea.
Okay. All right. For Victor Osimhen,
I expect him to make the right choice.
Okay, it's for him to just make the right choice and know where to go. A lot of clubs are sniffing around Victor Osimhen. For Manchester United, they are also looking at snapping him up from other clubs, from Napoli. And already, like Isaac mentioned, that clause was included in his contract that at the end of the summer, he could leave Napoli. The president of Napoli, that is De Laurentiis, also made that announcement that Victor Osimhen will be leaving at the end of the summer. So let's see where he will be playing his trade. The club he will be playing with next season, 120 million euros release clause in that contract. All right, that is where we leave it on the program 360 Sports from Trust TV. Isaac, thanks for joining me on the show this lovely Friday morning. It was a wonderful one having you on 360 Sports. Okay, that is it on the program. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.